Greetings, superior beings, greetings, supreme being. Welcome to Universal Peace Television. Are all believers insane? Yes. And because there is no other YouTube video of anybody claiming this, and nobody is listing these 6 Jewish people that want to depopulate the earth, that have already depopulated the earth and created paraplegic children in India, etc. I'm doing that for Aleo, for the human race, because I think that torture is a disgrace to the human race and an abomination. Like religion is an illusion, to quote Freud. And what did I write down? The number one symptom that makes clear all believers are insane is their belief in something they cannot see and that is obviously not there. You can quote me on that. And then you can all give us your opinions. But I think that you're all brain controlled by them and that you're all going away. Nobody's going to help me. And yeah, the, the depopulation is ongoing, and so is the Inquisition. And I want to add that I like some insane people better. So you have the Protestant Christians that are not involved in torture, and the Catholics that have tortured 50 million people to death in their Inquisition, which I consider more insane. And my mother was a Protestant Christian. They've tortured to death with harp. Weet je, of mijn maliepaard. And so I see belief as a form of insanity. Believing is stupid, knowing is smart. And then it would be best perhaps not to have any opinion about it, but I think it's clear there is no almighty being that is going to make us eternal, and that these 5 fictional places you can go after you die, heaven, hell, bottomless pit, resurrection and reincarnation, are not real. And so we'll have to make that paradise on earth ourselves, and especially a cure against aging, without which all living things will die. So that's usually what I'm focusing on in my broadcasts. And many people don't know that they've tortured 50 million people to death in their Inquisition. They haven't seen their torture devices. And they don't know about their plans to do the same thing again with their military order, with an open false world peace policy. And that they tell you any lie to control your behavior. And I'm gonna pick a fight. So if you want to hear the speech engine, you'll just have to be patient or fast forward this broadcast. I might turn it on right now, you know. First read a bit of data. And perhaps I should start every broadcast with these 6 Jews, prominent Jews, that want to depopulate the earth until they are arrested. And I think the Genocide Convention does apply when you want to depopulate the 500 million and claim you want to depopulate the earth. Get rid of 80-90% of the world's global population, like these people do. That killing one person is illegal already, let alone depopulating to 500 million, getting rid of 7 billion people, murdering 7 billion people. And how else can you do that without murdering 7 billion people, depopulating to 500 million? When the world's global population is still increasing, of course, since 11 children die every minute of hunger and 14 are born every minute. It's What was I thinking about? They might be fucking with my brain also to make me look insane. After smear campaign. So the voices in your head are always a neural network. There is no God. It's your voice of God weapon. And, people are so brain controlled that almost nobody notices these things. And so there are people who want to depopulate the earth. Oh, yeah, the subject was that it's in violation of the Genocide Convention because they want to depopulate the earth. And their trick is that they make you believe it's not against one ethnic group or whatever, so that it's not genocide, but it is because they want to get rid of the human race, the group, depopulate the human race, the group of humans, so that's a group as well. And it's clear to me murdering one person is illegal already. And saying kill such and such is illegal as well. Hence depopulating to 500 million is assignment to commit genocide, and these people should be prosecuted, put in jail, and arrested. And I don't believe that the Jesuits control all Supreme Courts or that they can control 7,500,000,000 people or that they're world leaders. And I don't see these people, these presidents, as our leaders, nor Adolfo Nicholas, nor the Rockefellers or Rothschilds. I think there is nobody that controls the world or rules the world, and that people are wary of that and that they kill anybody that would attempt or claim to do so. People that are looking for ways to create a totalitarian global government, basically. And that they're beginning to learn the tricks, and that they're tired of the crappy directed energy weapon torture and these illegal voice to skull messages. And that people will start to unite. It might take a while because of the brain control and torture, but they are beginning to learn that they want to murder 7 billion people, 7 billion of us, and that if they don't do anything, they'll get away with it. That they're slow killing everybody with cancer, chemtrails, killer vaccines. See list of pandemics caused by vaccinations in one of my previous broadcasts. It's in the title also, and it's read out by the speech engine. And with loads of other depopulation methods I've covered. And in my previous broadcast, you can also find out how to survive these things, for example, with an air cleaner, with an ionizer, and not taking the killer vaccines, not eating GMO food as a sterilizing weapon, etc. Not taking chemicals, cancer-causing drugs. So refraining from certain things they want to push and sell to you is another way to survive, to live long enough to reach that period where the permanent cure against aging is created. And perhaps there are people that have one already. So my theory is that you should have a way to put it online if you die, so that that cure against aging is put online, so that the people that scan your brains with synthetic telepathy cannot steal it and kill you. So I want to get it to the people, not just a handful of fatal elites that control the brainwaves with the cancer harp and synthetictelepathy.com. Okay, speech engine.
Dr. Kissinger, Professor Pianka. Off the face of the earth by
the genocide QHTML. Rockefeller, Rothschild, the Jesuits founded by Ashkenazi Jews, Bill Gates, George Soros, Dr. Kissinger, Professor Pianka, are the most famous ones, but there are many, many others. Wars are the Jews' harvest. The Jew banks grow fat on Christian wars. Jews depopulating the earth and or advocating it. Rockefeller, Rothschild, the Jesuits founded by Ashkenazi Jews, Bill Gates, George Soros, Dr. Kissinger, Professor Pianka, are the most famous ones, but there are many, many others. Wars are the Jews' harvest. The Jew banks grow fat on Christian wars. Over 100 million Christians have been swept off the face of the earth by wars, and the www will to be genocide QHTML. Jewish scientist Eric Pianka calls for death of all humanity. www.worldwideinfofriend.com Less known are the Freemasons with their Luciferian oaths such as Obama, of which they pretend they think they are Muslims on controlled opposition websites such as InfoWars. To prevent any real opposition to their New World Order depopulation, they pretend to be opposition themselves.
It's
Freemasonry is a Jewish
9
establishment whose history,
a.m.
grades, official appointments, passwords, and explanations are Jewish from beginning to end. Rabbi Isaac Wise. Healing. To get rid of a disease, you must get rid of the cause and not just fight the symptoms with chemical, thus cancer-causing drugs. And you may quote me on this. Recovery begins with non-compliance. David quote. How to escape from a psychiatric hospital, http://www.patricer.com/ update/ escape from psychhosp.htm. The thing worse than rebellion is the thing that causes rebellion. Frederick Douglass. State tyranny, oppression, poverty. Sustainability equals genocide, democide, geoengineering equals engineering equals democide. Sustainable development, genocide turned into a necessity. Depopulation should be the highest priority of foreign policy towards the Third World, because the U.S. economy will require large and increasing amounts of minerals from abroad, especially from less developed countries. Henry Kissinger. World population needs to be decreased by 50%. Henry Kissinger. Power is the ultimate aphrodisiac, and the elderly are useless eaters. Henry Kissinger. There is no third world, only Earth. Never again human culling and depopulation. Democidal brain rape. If it scans your brain, it's just a lie to a thing basically. Believing in being Jewish is discrimination because we are all descendants of Lucy and the Hamonites and we all have equal rights. The religious trolls that tortured people that do not want to be religious should be arrested or stopped some other way to prevent them from killing more innocent civilians. Catch the big depopulating supercriminals and not the ones they want dead. Go we. Race shock discrimination. My next theme will be preserving our freedom in the light of synthetic telepathy. I think it is still too easy to torture people with directed energy weapons. The government has to have people that protect civilians that claim they have been attacked with a directed energy weapon, and targeted individuals should be allowed to press charges. The people depopulating the earth are using these directed energy weapons and block people's right to a fair trial and control the judge, defendant and lawyers with their directed energy weapon and control their mind with synthetic telepathy. They have always worked against me and have attempted to murder me several times. Because they are all brain-controlled, no one cares about me. This is also the reason they are all going away. They are all brain-controlled and they cannot do anything about it. The lie. At the moment, I think the Jesuits' master plan is 3 world wars and they need Putin to start their 3rd world war over Iran. They have an open false world peace policy. Radiological water filter storable food. Even if everyone would unite against them, it would not make a difference. No, the lie. The people with the death ray can kill anyone that has no Tesla plasma shield, which is a visible shield of plasma, instantly. They are slowly murdering me with their voice of God weapon. They are poisoning the population and have contaminated our biosphere beyond repair with GMO food as a sterilizing weapon. They lead the fake opposition to their new world order themselves. People can win at the quantum computer that controls their minds. People that want to kill you are your enemy. They want you to help with their illegal depopulation and then get rid of you to leave no trace of eviscience. Their main rule is never get caught, do what the world, etc. We must take a stand now because they will find a way to get rid of 7 billion people if they are not stopped. They want permanent bases in Iran and other countries they have invaded, so I think Iran is next after Syria. Best to be prepared for nuclear war. Filter food. The Jesuits have an open false world peace policy. You may not torture people that do not accept your fictional deity as their god. The neural network obviously is not. Oh God. Remember their wars and who did it. The Jesuits, Jewish people, Hitler's Jesuit Holocaust. Nazi Jews also. The term Jews is easier than Jewish people because Jewish people is 2 words. Perhaps there is no one that can catch the people responsible for torturing my teeth out of my mouth, murdering my mother with rape and inducing cancer in me, Steve Jobs, former President Chavez, and possibly millions of others. I am convinced depopulating the earth is a fucking insane idea and illegal plan. I think it should be made clear that depopulating the earth is not allowed. Arresting one of these people that advocate depopulating the earth may be the only way to save us all. They may not want a 3rd world war. Not to save lives but the infrastructure. Until the beast died. Neural networks are quite easy to destroy and reprogram. It belongs to the taxpayers, not to murderers that deserve the death penalty. Your future. Discographic. The hippies should take over the death ray. Spread THC and other cool drugs in the chemtrails. Experiments, you know. Better than their cancer-causing ethylene dibromide. Exposed. The trolls should now die. Instead of the people they are trying to kill. Put all these alphabet agency people in a room and create it. The plan. First it was gassing them all, but if they have stopped cancer chemtrailing us, they must have stopped populating. The ingredients of their cancer chemtrails are known, but instead of looking it up with Google Gold, you could just buy an air cleaner with an ionizer. Any better ideas? Please Skype me. Prologic999 is my Skype name. No safety first. All we need is a crisis big enough to make them accept our new world order. But we have so much dough we are never gonna make it. Benito Mussolini. Bibi Netanyahu. The force of Jerry Colt. The idea is to make clear that people that advocate depopulating the earth should be killed first to get a fair trial, to make clear depopulating the earth is not allowed and advocating it is not allowed. To prevent their illegal depopulation. The word to use is depopulated first instead of killed first. Or is it better to use murdered instead of depopulated, and what's the difference exactly? Internet equals YouTube. Plus Google plus Wikipedia equals the Trinity. Interesting, this has to come from an unbeliever. March 4th, 2016. Synthetic telepathy brain control Jewish people depopulating the earth. Anonymous. More viewers. Are you restarted? Synthetic telepathy brain control list of Jewish people depopulating the earth. Anonymous. More viewers. Fuck civil disobedience. To be a quote real whistleblower unquote, Snowden has to be or have been NSA. If he is a real whistleblower, the people that want to depopulate the earth would want us to believe he is controlled opposition as well. However, it does not prove or disprove it. Resistance is futile. If less than 1 ohm. Trump claims to be Presbyterian, yet he attended Jesuit Fordham University for 2 years and then transferred to the covertly Jesuit-controlled University of Pennsylvania. Whether it be Trump, Jeb Bush, Hillary Clinton, or even Bernie Sanders that ends up winning the 2016 election, all of these candidates are connected to Rome, and all will only serve to implement the tyrannical, neo-Romanist policies of the papacy and its professed soldiers of the Jesuits. Father Jim McDermott of America Magazine. Depopulating the earth is a necessity. We are overcrowded. You don't see them, but they are there. Lowell. Ita. All roads lead to throne. 2. Lauren Mort, Jesuit depopulation plan. YouTube. Watch out, possibly controlled opposition, the Black Pope's scenario for World War III and destruction of the Protestant Western civilization. TuneVidMine.com, 1evo, The Vatican Holocaust Part 1, 1-evil.org. I doubt if the bankers or Rockefeller controls HERP, which is claimed by Benjamin Fulford, accused of being controlled opposition online. It seems more logical the leader of the Jesuit military order, Adolfo Nicolas, is the only one with access. Perhaps their system goes along with this lie. The lie that HERP is switched off, though it is not, and that Adolfo Nicolas has resigned over the infant eating as part of their initiation accusations, supported by 14 eyewitness testimonies, though he has not resigned. People with access to Bohemian Grove and that interviewed J.D. Rockefeller may be controlled opposition. If no way is found to stop HERP, it is possible 7 billion people are slowly exterminated with it, like Chavez. My mother and Steve Jobs were killed with it. It is a scalar weapon that can clone disease patterns, and HERP is used to torture people, not just to depopulate the earth by modifying the weather and brain controlling the people, as some sources online claim it is doing. Scientists develop mind control wheelchair. Financial Express, June 3, 2016. Conscious, actual contents of awareness. Does anyone else think Sigmund Freud was a pedophile? Please read some of his work on psychosexual development, if you haven't already done so, before answering this question. UK Answers Yahoo.com. Only one of the answers was from a person that thought Freud was a pedophile. Yes, he was a Jew, and the Jewish Talmud allows pedophilia. The Jews are trying to pervert white societies, and this was Freud's role in it. They also control the media, pornography, etc. They have succeeded 100% Europe and America era shadows of what they once were. In the last few years the Jews, have started the final push of legalizing certain kinds of pedophilia. You will see it happen within your lifetime. It could be worse. Telegraph, the pedo WHO pedo. Jack to the sound of the on the crowd. From the YouTube video, Why Do People Hate the Jews? Over 9 million Russians died during the civil war that followed the Bolshevik Revolution. Jews made up 90% of the first Bolshevik governments. Mass executions, man-made famines, gulags. Jews murdered more than 60 million Europeans in the USSR alone. Holodomor, death by starvation, extermination by hunger. Contrary to what is often believed, Russia has never ceased to be a stronghold of international Jewry since 1917. Ask yourself why the Jews have been persecuted and expelled more than 100 times in the last 2,000 years from nations all over the world? Could it be because the Jews want to kill most non-Jews and enslave the rest? 6 famous Jews calling for depopulating the earth is rather weird, don't you think? Food no bombs. What Jugo writes about Bolshevism, Jewish Bolshevism, also known as Judeo-Bolshevism, is an anti-Semitic canard which alleges that the Jews were at the origin of the Russian Revolution and held the primary power among Bolsheviks. Similarly, the Jewish communism theory implies that Jews have been dominating the communist movements in the world. The word anti-Semitic does not appear in the wiki articles National Bolshevism and Bolsheviks, only in the Jewish Bolshevism article. Interesting that there are 3 types just on wiki. They always lead a group of opposition to themselves especially if their goal, depopulating the earth for example, killing all non-Jews, is illegal. Orthodox Jews, Zionists and Alex Jones may all have the same goal. YouTube video Jewish powers setting up World War III to take over World War from Jerusalem, by victory over Jewish enmity, about 17,000 views. How I Become a Self-Hating Jew YouTube. Jews own 96% of the entire media. All wars are bankers' wars, full version, Pac-Man Packs 110,074 views. The whole story of Zionist conspiracy, the filthy history of pedophilia, murder and bigotry. Are you blind or what? United States. Oppenheimer was born in New York City on April 22, 1904, the son of Julius Oppenheimer, a wealthy Jewish textile importer who had immigrated to the United States from Germany in 1888, and Ella Friedman, a painter. Oppenheimer is among those who are called the father of the atomic bomb for their role in the Manhattan Project. Kubrick's parents were married in a Jewish ceremony. He produced Dr. Strangelove, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb, more commonly known as Dr. Strangelove, is a 1964 political satire black comedy film that satirizes the Cold War fears of a nuclear conflict between the USSR and the US. So they may advocate killing us all and depopulating, but we may not advocate killing them? Kill the people that want to depopulate the earth before they find a way to kill us all. For example, with the World War over, and they may have planned and be prepared for it. Why are these people that advocate depopulating the earth not arrested? It is possible they will be arrested and put in FEMA camps themselves. People can unite and press charges en masse against these people that advocate depopulation to get media attention and to bring this to the attention of the people of the world they want to exterminate and treat as less than cattle. They do not know who controls their death ray, HERP, anyway. Rockefeller, Adolfo Nicholas, or someone else? They pretend it is used for ionospheric experiments, not torture, and that it's switched off. People who tell the truth about all this are often ridiculed. I myself do not believe that the Jewish people nor the Jesuits control the world. No one does. Ulrich B.C. Hoffman. Furthermore, I do not believe that so-called leaders that allow the cancer chemtrail genocide to continue and allow people to call for depopulating the earth are real leaders, and I do not accept them as our leaders, president or king. Though they may see themselves as such, I do not. The people that want to depopulate the earth are weirdos with fake followers and fans. Their red herrings do not affect the lives of 7 billion people. Red herring, a clue or piece of information which is or is intended to be misleading or distracting. A dried, smoked herring. Anti-Semitism, electromagnetic radiation. Creating universal pieces about not choosing sides. Being the real good guys. Working magic with my dick. I think people that want to depopulate the earth are not normal, they are out of contact with reality. They cannot see we are not overpopulated or pretend they cannot. History forgery. YouTube, 10 lies taught in schools. GGG 666XXXXXXX. Universal peace now. We could make love instead of, we could fuck or, we could screw. German good girls are the best. A real IO pair. Jesus Christ was not a Jew. The Jews lie about Jewish extermination in a German Holocaust. The real Holocaust was a Christian Holocaust, by Jews of 66 million, mostly Christians. 50 million victims in World War I. 150 million victims in World War II. 66 million Christians murdered by Jewish fanatics in Russia since the success of the Bolshevik Revolution. Modern history begins with the Congress of Vienna in 1815, when the Jews, unleashed from their ghettos and bearing a tide of gold amassed by the Rothschilds through their instigation and financing of wars from 1775 to 1812, used their newly acquired wealth to subvert the established governments of Europe and to start them on their terrifying slide into oblivion. Even though God created the non-Jew, they are still animals in human form. It is not becoming for a Jew to be served by an animal. Therefore he will be served by animals in human form. Midrash Talpioth, pages 255, Warsaw 1855. Wars are the Jews' harvest, for with them we wipe out the Christians and get control of their gold. We have already killed 100 million of them, and the end is not yet. Chief Rabbi in France, in 1859, Rabbi Rykern, http://snippets-and-slappets.blogspot.nl/ 2009/05/ secret-holocaust-by-eustace-mullins.html. They're fat, they're all reserved. Great God will come from the Skype. Don't give up, tough hide. If we are warned that there are 6 Jewish people that want to depopulate the earth and that quote wars are the Jews' harvest unquote, we'd better watch out. Thwart any plan to start a world war over Iran. I suspect that they may not or may not be able some of the demands that are made. A depopulation without a world war would take years if not centuries. Weird that people have not pressed charges and that nobody noticed these 6 famous Jews that want to depopulate the earth. If they can get away with advocating murdering 7 billion people, they can get away with anything. The Georgia Guidestones are real. Monsanto family were Jewish slave dealers and owners. 5-24-7rents.com. It is not clear whether this is the same Monsanto of the despicable Monsanto company from the article. Monsanto Zionist bedfellows. The Senate rammed through the S-510 food safety bill while Americans were sleeping as a rider to the cash for clunkers bill. Obeying their corporate master, Monsanto Corporation, Capitol Hill's new food bill has all the earmarks of being written by Monsanto's former vice president, Michael Taylor. Taylor is now the FDA's commissioner for foods, where he is supervising the coming torrent of Monsanto's genetically modified foods, GMOs, into the American marketplace. Taylor is guided by his overseers, Zionist Jews Drive Margaret Hamburg and Dr. Joshua Sharfstein, who head the FDA's governing department, the Office of Commissioners. Hamburg, known as a bioterrorism expert, contributed to the creation of the Senate Committee for Homeland Security led by her Jewish colleague, Talmudic Jew, Senator Joseph Lieberman. And Scharfstein, former advisor to Jewish Senator Henry Waxman, is currently overseeing efforts to prevent labeling of Monsanto's toxic GMO foods since they are currently recognized by the FDA as GRAS, that is, generally recognized as safe, which means it only kills 50% of the rats. Now, the revolving door between public officials such as Michael Taylor of the FDA and Monsanto is alarming. For example, a Dr. Michael A. Friedman, a Jew, was a commissioner of the FDA before he was hired as senior vice president of Monsanto. But there's a global component to the food bill which is a part of the Judaic world order. Louis Dreyfus International, a Jewish multinational agricultural firm, with offices throughout America and across the globe, now exports Monsanto's GMO seeds into Europe as a prelude to the coming flood of Monsanto's toxic seeds into the American marketplace. The Zionist global food beast will soon include Lieberman's Homeland Security with the creation of a global food safety standard as dictated by the S510 food bill. This is in addition to the food bill granting Homeland Security the right to police and shut down small farmers if they dare to use heirloom seeds rather than buying Monsanto's GMO toxic seeds. The authority over buying and selling the foods we eat will now be in the hands of Talmudic Jew, Joseph Lieberman and his Zionist global colleagues. And that's scary. Well, I don't know about you, but I'm going to start growing my own. And Monsanto and their Zionist bedfellows can take their food bill and shove it. Monsanto Zionist Bedfellows by Brother Nathaniel Kapner, copyright 2010. http://www.realtwanews.com/ P=589. The Federal Reserve, Zionist Jewish private bankers. Jews control the money in America. Period. End of story. Zionist Jews own and run the Federal Reserve Bank that the U.S. government continually borrows from and is in debt to. Napoleon said, when a government is dependent for money upon the bankers, they and not the government leaders control the nation. This is because the hand that gives is above the hand that takes. Financiers are without patriotism and without decency. The Federal Reserve Bank is a consortium of 9 Zionist Jewish-owned and associated banks with the Rothschilds at the head. Zionist Jews run the Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve Bank. Here are the Jews that control the government of America. 1. Ben Shalom Bernanke, Chairman of the Board of Governors of Federal Reserve. Term ends 2020. 2. Donald L. Kahn, Vice Chairman of the Board of Governors of Federal Reserve. Term ends 2016. 3. Randall S. Krosner, Member of Board of Governors of Federal Reserve. 4. Frederick S. Mishkin, Member of Board of Governors of Federal Reserve. Term ends 2014. 5. Alan Greenspan, Advisor to Board of Governors of Federal Reserve. Recent Chairman. How the Federal Reserve Bank works. Zionist bankers print money at heavily armed and guarded Federal Reserve Bank buildings throughout the U.S. Then these Jewish bankers of the Federal Reserve Bank loan the money to the U.S. government at interest. Since the Federal Reserve Bank is privately owned, the Federal Reserve Bank of New York, and all the others, is listed in Dun & Bradstreet. But according to Article I, Section 8 of the U.S. Constitution, only Congress has the right to issue money and regulate its value. Thus it is illegal for private interests to issue U.S. money. But because influential Jews like Paul Warburg and Jacob Schiff bribed into enactment the Federal Reserve Act of 1913, the stockholders of the Federal Reserve Bank were to be kept a secret. Only recently have the Jewish stockholders of the Federal Reserve Bank come to light. International cooperation with the Jew-owned Federal Reserve Bank has been intense to coordinate currency. In 1985, officials from the JP Morgan Bank of NY met with the Credit Lyonnais Bank of France. They established the European Currency Unit Banking Association, ECUBA, to get world cooperation for a unified currency. In October 1987, the Association for the Monetary Union of Europe, AMUE, secretly met and recommended that the ECU, European Currency Unit, replace existing national currencies and that all European central banks be combined into one and issue the ECU as the official unified currency. This occurred in 1999 with the issuing of the euro. The plan of the international Jewish banking cabal is to have only 3 central banks in the world: the Federal Reserve Bank, the European Central Bank, and the Central Bank of Japan. All of these banks are headed by the Rothschilds. And next to come will be the one world government run by anti-Christian Jews. Read the source article from Real Jew News with links here. http://www.realjewnews.com/ P=177. Free thinker versus paid thinker. Think here. The Indian dessert with rice. Magic chocolate lava cake dessert recipe how to. It's in the year 1929 when Durex, the condom brand, was founded. At that time, condoms were made and imported from Germany, where a Jewish man named Julius Fromm invented the condom as we know it today. Since that time, however, Durex has grown rapidly and become the only brand available almost throughout the world. http://condominity.com/ Durex-condoms. The Atom Bomb Condom. 6 Jewish companies control 96% of the world's media. The Jewish 500 boycott list. Vanguard News Network Forum. Boycott depopulators and Goy haters. Mimi military. Depopulators sounds a bit like Jew haters. Jews haters may like water or soda. Or the killer alcohol. Yes, we can know. There is no end to the end nor the beginning. To protect our freedom or liberty in the light of synthetic telepathy, the system must be controlled by people that protect and serve the taxpayers or switched off. The Seacod virus. The Seacod virus. The Rothschilds started planning to establish Israel as a Jewish state and capital of their world empire almost 200 years ago. The ideology behind the New World Order may be the prophecy that God has chosen the King of the Jews to rule the world. This Messiah, or Antichrist, will be selected from the ranks of the Rothschild family. Jews will administer this world empire with the help of Freemasons. This argument is espoused in a rare, suppressed book entitled Elijah, Rothschilds and the Ark of the Covenant by Tom Kreutzer and Jeremiah Patrick, Restoration Press, 1984. The book details the Rothschilds' discovery of the Ark of the Covenant, a gold-covered box supposedly built by Moses to hold Aaron's rod and the original 10 Commandment tablets. Apparently the Rothschilds intend to place this in Solomon's temple in Jerusalem to legitimize their claim to be the Messiah. Rothschilds in Paris and Rabin JPG, Rothschilds and Israeli leaders study model of Rothschild-sponsored Israeli Supreme Court, destined to be world court. According to the authors, this bizarre vision rooted in biblical prophecy is behind economic and political events today. The Zionist vision is much larger than a Jewish homeland. The Messianic hope promises the establishment by the Jews of world power in Palestine, to which all the nations of the earth will pay homage. p. 29. This glorious age can only be effected by a man, a sign of the house of David, who will lead the Jews to righteousness and regenerate the human race. According to the Talmud, this Messiah from the seed of David shall subjugate the heathen nations and make Israel the world power. Summarizing the Talmud, Rabbi Michael Hager wrote that, all the treasures and natural resources of the world will eventually come in possession of the righteous. This, he said, would be in keeping with thy prophecy of Isaiah, in her gain and her hire shall be holiness to the Lord. It shall be not treasured nor laid out, for her gain shall be for them that dwell before the Lord, to eat their fill and for stately clothing. The Jewish Utopia, 1932. Obviously, the majority of Jews are not informed of this plan, the easier to manipulate them. Messiah Makers. See more at http://henrymacko.com/ Jewish_Messianism_behind_nwo.html. Interesting shills list on diggerfortruth.wordpress.com. Henry Macko Jew, giving half-truths and distorted facts. Eric von Phelps from Vatican Assassins, who blames Vatican Jesuits and Black Pope etc. for everything the Jews do, including writing the Protocols of Zion. If it wasn't so serious. Donald Trump. Anyone with an ounce of discernment will not even consider Trump is going to help resolve this agenda. This Jew stooge is nothing but distraction and false hope. Any idiots putting a scrap of hope with this controlled opposition should not be taken serious. David Icke, also known as Mr. Lizard. Please see my essay below. Synopsis. The main thing with Icke is you just have to look who he associates with. Alex Jones and his associates, Prison Planet, etc. Very dangerous to truth. His wife and children are Jewish. Aggressive fear-based material. Comes out with real clangers such as the Arabs run Hollywood. http://alexjonesexposed.info/ alex-jones-and-jewish-sponsors/ Benjamin Fulford. Listen to audio below. Gerald Celent gives consistent inaccurate information regarding financial forecasts. Never talks about Jewish usury. All the time he discusses the financial markets. Quite incredible, really. Jeff Rins, also known as Mr. Hairdo. Another egoist in the movement, propagating half-truths and disinfo. Mike Rivero, another Jew distributing half-truths, disinfo. Steve Kale, clear disinfo, steering people away from the Judaic angle. The Young Turks, total shills, playing the kosher fiddle. Antiwar.com, half-truths. Noam Chomsky, a kilojoule controlling the dissent. Ron Paul debunked.wordpress.com/ Vladimir Putin, https diggerfortruth.wordpress.com/ 2013 /06 /04 puppet-putin pound more -6660 10 traits of shills https diggerfortruth.wordpress.com/ 2012 /03 /31 10-traits-of-shill pound more -706. This collection of data so far does not necessarily reflect my opinion in any way. When they induce disease in you, whether the ringing in the head, often misdiagnosed as tinnitus, can be heard. When it comes to money and power, some people are willing to tell you any lie and murder 7 billion of us to get it and or keep it. Thursday, October 1st, 2009, Nazi Party was controlled opposition, top leadership Jews and crypto Jews. Via Henry Macko, Meyer Lansky? No. Joseph Goebbels, in the book Adolf Hitler, founder of Israel, 1974, author Heinrich Hartl quotes German Jew Dietrich Bronder, of Jewish descent, or being related to Jewish families, were the leader and Reichschancellor Adolf Hitler. His representatives, the Reichsminister Rudolf Hess, the Reichsmarschall Hermann Göring, the Reichsleader of the NSDAP Gregor Strasser, Dr. Joseph Goebbels, Alfred Rosenberg, Hans Frank, Heinrich Himmler, the Reichsminister von Ribbentrop, who pledged close friendship with the famous Zionist Chaim Weizmann, the first head of the State of Israel, who died in 1952. Von Gudel, Field Commanders Globoknik, the Jewish destructor, Jordan and Wilhelm Hube, the great SS leaders Reinhard Heydrich, Erich von Dembach-Zaluski and von Gudel too. All of them were members of the secret Thule Order/Society, Bronder, before Hitler came, 1964. Moreover, Churchill, FDR and Stalin were also Illuminati or Frankist Jews. There certainly seems to be a lot of validity to the idea that the Nazi leadership contained many Jewish or crypto-Jewish characters. Goebbels clearly has a Jewish look to his face. And names like Frank and Rosenberg are notoriously Jewish surnames. I remember seeing a program on the History Channel a while back that documented how many of Hitler's close personal associates, such as friends, doctor, bodyguard, etc., were ethnic Jews. Just last night the History Channel had a program on about Hitler's Jewish psychic, Erich Jan Heinessen, real surname Steinschneider. Related articles: Adolf Hitler's DNA shows North African and Ashkenazi Jew ancestry. It is possible the people that claim Henry Mako was what they consider to be Jewish and controlled opposition, a shield that writes lies and mixes in some truth, the real opposition to killing all non-Jews brings as well. For example, Henry Mako could claim Hitler and Goebbels were Jewish to hide the real Jews that were involved in the Holocaust and World War, the Jewish Nazi concentration camp soldiers listed on Wikipedia for example. So I do not actually believe what Mr. Mako wrote, I just think it's weird like 6 Jewish people that want to depopulate the earth. On Semitic Controversies blogspot and now we read in the article, did Joseph Goebbels have Jewish ancestry? About Goebbels, his Dutch mother, Katharina Maria Odenhausen, was the daughter of Johann Michael Odenhausen, a blacksmith, and Johanna Maria Soevers. 5. Katharina was by all accounts an uncomplicated woman born of simple parents. 6. Who lived primarily for her husband, her children and her Catholic faith. 7. The surnames that we know, Goebbels, Odenhausen and Soevers, have no known Jewish connections and do not appear in the standard dictionaries listing common Jewish surnames. I also cannot find, via searching on Google, any Jews extant with any of these surnames. Thus we can see that there is no genealogical basis for the claim of Goebbels' Jewishness according to the biographical literature up to the present time. On this basis then we have to conclude that Goebbels had no Jewish ancestry whatsoever. So Henry Mako was wrong about this one. People have the right to claim God does not exist even if it does. UDH freedom of religion, not that these rights are enforced but they pretend they are to catch good people that expose their illegal depopulation and torture. Nymph self-milf. Sure. No means yes, yes means no. And they know everything. Is it possible the Jesuits have tortured these 6 Jewish people to make them advocate depopulating the earth like they do? Or is killing all non-Jews ingrained in their religious doctrine like killing all non-Muslims is inherent to the Muslim religion and killing all non-Christians to the Christian religion as we saw in the Inquisition? Or are all these religions made by Masons or people that want to depopulate the earth and rule the earth from Jerusalem? Power to one person instead of power to the people, centralization, a global government aka a new world order, is that their goal? They fall for that one every time. They cannot control their own brainwave because it's electromagnetic and they do not have a Tesla plasma shield. Of course they do not want a global government, they don't want something that is worse than what they have now. That's why it's a global government conspiracy theory, it's not real? See, New World Order conspiracy theory on Wiki. Or perhaps it's what they want us to believe while advocating the creation of a global government, to steal power from the people and give it to themselves. They have to work for the pedo elite. So they are not gonna make love unless they are hoes. If I lied about anything please Skype me on Prologic 999. What is your life's value if you are enslaved? Unbelievably Jewy. Our race, speaking of the Jews, is the master race. We are divine gods on this planet. We are as different from the inferior races as they are from insects. In fact, compared to our race, other races are beasts and animals, cattle at best. Other races are considered as human excrement. Our destiny is to rule over the inferior races. Our earthly kingdom will be ruled by our leader with a rod of iron. The masses will lick our feet and serve us as our slaves. Menachem Begin, Israeli Prime Minister, 1977 to 1983. Expelgaparasite.com. Lisa Blade 2 years ago, show me a white-skinned Jew and I will show you a liar. If pharaohs belong to black people, the real Jews are black, and you know it. You people love to dance around this truth. White-skinned people who call themselves Jews are liars. They are Khazarians from Germany, Yemen and Europe. There is nothing Jew about them. The only Jews are black people. Tell the truth already and stop dancing around the table. Ha 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 ha. http://forward.com/culture/140721/ jeans-tell-of-jewish-ties-to-Africa/ surprise, Ashkenazi Jews are genetically European. www.livescience.com. The real Jews are black. www.therealjewsareblack.com. How did Jesus and the Hebrews become white? realhistory.com. Jesus and Jews are all black. killermovies.com. In the 1600s, the Africans and the Arabs sold the true black Jews to the Caucasians for guns and wine. This historical fact is also documented in the Bible. Black supremacy. Obama suggests blacks are the chosen people. Stop-obama-now.net/Obama-blacks-are-Jews. I am not blaming all Jews for what these 6 Jews that want to depopulate the earth have written and done. People cannot help hating people and things, therefore it should not be illegal. Advocating depopulating the earth and or groups of people must still stay illegal. Of course they like to turn around everything I say and all my truths to depopulate the earth. Citizen 4 starring Edward Snowden made by Jews with a cast of Jews, but nobody says Jew. For everybody who has no idea that whistleblower Edward Snowden is a Jew, let me be the first to inform you. Snowden is a Jew. Regular visitors to this website know that exposing crypto Jews, which means secret Jews, is one of the specialties of the site. For readers now who need a persuasive example of the specialty, I recommend a recent, extensive article, Fully Wake Up to Crypto Jews. Most if not all bad elite whites are crypto Jews. Microsoft is Jewish company, Stormfront, Corruptico says, February 5, 2013 at 12:45 a.m., dead on my friend. Finally, someone else who can recognize, simply by looking, that Bill Gates is absolutely a crypto Jew. This all-Jewish Microsoft team from 1978 was brought together and organized by elite Jews to take total control of all operating system software worldwide. Dixon said allowing non-Jews to take control of the preferred system would jeopardize the Jews' millennium-long run of controlling intellectual properties, and thus the minds of the masses. See a picture of the all-Jewish Microsoft team as pictured in 1978 on Corruptico.com. The only way to stop, once and for all, the ongoing crimes against humanity committed by Jewry, especially against our white race, is to kill them before they finish killing us. The Jews make the wars, you know. And the Jews concoct the poison vaccines and make it a crime to refuse them, you know. And the Jews are instigating and allowing the low IQ, violent Negroid race wrongly in the USA to beat, rape, and kill whites. And the Jews are forcing the non-white hordes of invaders called immigrants, legal and illegal, into our country to help finish the displacement, impoverishment, and genocide of our white race. http://www.whichwillwinparty.org/?Jew-Edward-Snowden. Reflexive control is defined as a means of conveying to a partner, or an opponent, specially prepared information to incline him to voluntarily, make the predetermined decision desired by the initiator of the action. A love bid. How many people do you think know Bill Gates is Jewish and his whole Microsoft team of 1978 was? And that Israel has nuclear weapons despite their denials? And who invented the atom bomb? Robert Oppenheimer, Manhattan Project. Over the course of 6 years, from 1939 to 1945, more than $2 billion was spent during the history of the Manhattan Project. The formulas for refining uranium and putting together a working atomic bomb were created and seen to their logical ends by some of the greatest minds of our time. Chief among the people who unleashed the power of the atom was Robert Oppenheimer, who oversaw the project from conception to completion. Sick little worlds. I'd rather not come. The light. I already made Zombie O and Zombie B. What more can I do? We don't pop at this plate. There is no free love, only hate, which is clear from the fact I am still alone is a lie. When people do not watch my broadcasts, they cannot know I feel lonely and looking for free love. Just free them. We should not allow their scalar waves and cancer cell phone radiation to permeate our holy brains. They form opposition to their own group, expose some truths about themselves and mix it with vicious lies and pretend conspiracy theorists are a plague and insane people that should be taken away in straitjackets. J. Julius Robert Oppenheimer was born in New York City on April 22, 1904. His parents, Julius S. Oppenheimer, a wealthy German textile merchant, and Ella Friedman, an artist, were of Jewish descent but did not observe the religious traditions. Iran fires 2 missiles marked with Israel must be wiped out. Dubai, United Arab Emirates, AP. Iran test launched 2 ballistic missiles Wednesday, October 3, 2016. Iran tests 2 ballistic missiles reportedly designed to reach Israel, NPR. 13 hours ago. I think that it is more probable that a Jesuit tortured me because, 1. The people that did the illegal torture are very experienced, ultra-sadistic torturers. The Jesuits are known for their pedophilia but more for their Inquisition, the slaughter of 50 million innocent people that exposed the fact Jesus Christ never existed. 2. Rockefeller, interviewed by and accused of extortion with Earth, the ionospheric heater in Alaska, is a banker, and Benjamin Fulford is controlled opposition according to sources online, otherwise he would not have been allowed to interview Rockefeller, and Alex Jones would not have been allowed into Bohemian Grove. With their death ray they are able to get away with the most horrible atrocities ever to disgrace the human race. October 3, 2016, the pedo perps hurt my penis when playing the song Big Pimpin' by Jay-Z. Perhaps the old pedos want me to believe Jay-Z controls herp now and think I'm nuts. Are they in for surprise? Luciferianism fits in with demoralization, phase 1 of active measures. Do what, though killed? Would it be allowed to write, so they are parasites with hybrid insects releasing GMO mosquitoes by the millions to exterminate all non-Jews? Non-Jew haters. Exposing themselves to rum and their tyranny and make all non-Jews insane and kill each other and themselves with a clear depopulation agenda. Red herrings equals GMO rats. They may not understand what I have written if they are mind-controlled, not a word of it. They fuck with your brains. Polio Bill's Oxitec. They put it in their pudding. Putin the cancer chemtrailler. The death ray has 0 ohm resistance. In comparison to the directed energy weapon tortures, they are good gods, meant as a compliment. Normal patients did it. And how many missile shields does Iran have? Cancer herb sucks big time. So nobody is gonna listen to my broadcasts, visit me or help me because they are all brain controlled and soon depopulated then. The neural network remotely controls them like remotely controlled robots. This is why they want them to believe they have free will and that they hear the voice of God. The first Jesuits were crypto-Jews. Israelite.com, https, Israelite.com. The Jewish newspaper in the USA, Forward, has published its annual list of 50 notable Jews, adding 2 non-Jews to the list, Pope Francis and Angelina Jolie. Forward 50. The Jewish newspaper, Forward, just released its annual Forward 50 list of newsworthy and notable Jews, with an additional plus category to recognize the contributions of prominent non-Jews. One of the names on the list this year is none other than Pope Francis. The Forward cited Francis' outreach to the Jewish community, his clear denunciations of anti-Semitism, his intention of opening up the church's Holocaust archive, and his plans to visit Israel as indications of significant change in the relationship between the church and the Jewish world. This coincides with 6 prominent Jews calling for depopulating the earth, and it will be noted in history books thanks to me and others exposing this terrible unjustifiable injustice perpetrated against humankind. Catholic.co.il. Their suppression is real. A self-loving goy. Idolized. Shalom to all Jewish people not helping with the despicable depopulation and the creation of universal peace and a permanent cure against aging. And everyone else that is helping. Peace, y'all. Eternity energy come to everybody. Jewish people is too long for the title, it's already too long. Hence, Jews depopulating the earth. Depopulators are people haters. Punishment in relation to crime, not to convict anyone without a fair trial. I agree with most of the real laws. I disagree with blaming all Jews or Jewish people. Start with the people that advocate depopulating the earth instead of protecting and serving the people of planet Earth. At the moment I cannot accept the God of the Jews, Muslims nor Christians, but I agree with the other commandments. And I can adapt whenever needed and program myself with a self-hypnosis to become a believer. It did not lead us out of Egypt according to the Bible, only the Jews, so we are still there. Hurrah! Ashkenazi Jews. Murder all people that advocate depopulating the earth first. They have poisoned everyone and our biosphere beyond repair with GMO. They will murder 93% of the world's global population if they are not stopped. Herb is their main depopulation tool. Press charges as a group against the Jews that want to depopulate the earth so that it gets media attention. And the poor losers go to jail. They want to trick you into believing they do not want to kill all non-Jews. One of the ways they are attempting to do this is being members of the Church of Satan and or Luciferian, while in reality secretly maintaining Jewish practices, wiping out non-Jews, and doctors and lawyers are helping with their depopulation. Their big lie is of course that God exists. Their neural network is not God. They torture people with directed energy weapons, their voice of God weapon. The voice of dog, not God, of course. I am not an anti-Semite because, 1. I do not want to kill all Jews but want to make everyone that is not an accomplice to torturing me eternal. 2. I advocate depopulating the people that advocate depopulating the earth first, Jews and non-Jews that advocate that. There are too many goyim to wipe out, aren't there? Religion is really at the heart of the depopulation, torture, wars, and a very important control tool and way to select people with a low IQ. Pentagram equals pentagram, cross equals cross, hexagram equals Star of David, no IQ ASCII. Unicode character Star of David, U plus 2721. It's a lot of work to copy these fucking ASCII Unicode symbols. It's the same for everyone, whether Jew hater or depopulator. Chicxalicide. Unified currency resistance. Cash, less society. Alcoholical. Democide that. Sometimes having no opinion is the only way to survive, sometimes the opposite is true. Arrest Putin, jail. It's not gonna happen. They pretend that the cancer chemtrail depopulation is legal under the Poison, Open Sky Treaty. Made by I don't know. The White Power movement, for example, could press charges of incitement to commit genocide against the Jewish people that want to depopulate the earth. They use slow and soft kill to get away with it. What to say to maintain the delicate balance? There are two grow-ups, the people with the death ray and the people without the death ray. Opposition to Zionism?
It's
New anti-Semitism low.
10
Anti-Luciferian oath?
a.m.
Anti-Masonism. Depoppers are stupid hate trolls. The Israelis I have met were really nice people. Some Jewish people have killed themselves because of the same people that have tortured my mother to death with rape. I consider all religions an abomination, but not the Israeli people as a whole. You could argue I am pro-Zionism because I am for giving the land from Dan to Beersheba to the Jewish people, including the Temple Mount, to avoid a third fucking world war. Because God does not exist, it cannot be built by a miracle, and miracles do not exist. Zionism is not anti-Semitism. The land from Dan to Beersheba, famous biblical quote. So anti-Zionists are not anti-Semites, they're two differing words with each their own meaning. The Orthodox Jew would not be rounded up, but the non-Jewish anti-Jewish people would be, of course. Very clever. The Muslims consider Mecca holier than the Temple Mount. I hate to see what they have done to the children of the world with depleted uranium.